Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of the Entrepreneur Experiment podcast with me, Gary Box. Today we've got a biggie for you. In the studio, we have Mr. Rob Lipsett. What a privilege. We chat about Rob's evolution as an online content creator and his evolution as an entrepreneur. Rob has over 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, nearly 60 million views, and he has nearly 600,000 followers on Instagram. Rob is a pretty big deal in the online fitness world. We chat about his whole career, from leaving his 9-to-5, starting his own business, to his evolution today where he's just launched his own D2C protein pancakes brand. It's a really, really great episode. The energy in this episode is huge. First, I want to have a quick chat about my three partners for this season. First up, we've Bay Street Innovation. Gareth and his team are your technical partners. Think of them like that. If you're a non-technical founder and you're looking for someone to add a little bit of technical chops to your startup or business, chat to Gareth and the team. They'll help you scope out the whole project. Or if you're an existing business and you have a lot of mundane manual tasks in the business, Gareth and his team will go in, investigate for you, find the processes that can be automated and automate them. Simple as that. That's baystreet.io. Next up, we have chapter.ie. Deirdre and her team are a creative studio based out of Cork, and they are the real deal. If you're looking for someone to help you out with some branding, maybe you're looking to start a new business. You're thinking, I have a good concept, but I need a strong brand behind it, because you do. If you look behind my right shoulder, if you're watching on YouTube, that brand has been spoken about to me so many times because it's clear and clean. A powerful brand will take your business a long, long way. Chat to Deirdre and the team at Chapter. They will help you from start to finish. Or maybe you're looking to rebrand. They're also experts in this. Finally, Sean and the team at findavenue.ie. If you're a corporate event organizer or you're tasked on your team with booking a lot of events, corporate events, Sean and the team got you. Go to findavenue.ie. They will help you no matter what it is. Christmas event, meeting, conference, any size, any scale, they can hook you up. That's findavenue.ie. And now, on with today's chat with Mr. Rob Lipsett. Rob, welcome to the pod.
Thank you so much for having me on. I am buzzing. The only podcast I've managed to do back in Dublin.
Brilliant.
So, exclusive. Yeah. The invoice is on the way.
Speaking of which, how long is it since you've been here?
2 years. Yeah,
Whoa.
2 long years. And so, as we were saying when we were grabbing a coffee there, planned on being over and back loads when I moved to London. And then even like this year when I moved out to Marbella, I was on the move. And when I moved out to Marbella, I was like, easy flight back, always be back and forth seeing the family. And travel this year was a hassle. No matter what, no matter where you're going. So now I'm delighted to be back.
That must be a huge part of your lifestyle and I guess your business as well as travel. So
Yeah.
How have you been able to get around that?
Yeah, so it's like everyone was kind of put on hold. And it was probably the thing I disliked the most is like if I was doing collaborations and expos and, flying out to Texas, Miami to be with other fitness YouTubers. So for anyone listening, that's what I do. It's a weird job, like fitness YouTuber. But it sucked, and it was something that I disliked the most because I love public speaking. I love crowds. I love expos, all that. And that was just wiped out. But thankfully I have a somewhat sustainable business. So majority of what I do is based online. So I'm still very lucky in the whole thing.
Yeah, to be honest, because you're probably well ahead of the game in terms of remote working, work from home, online businesses. How quickly were you able to kind of move away from the expos business and then focus? You were always mainly online, were you?
Yeah. So funny thing is, a lot of people like in the start of 2020, they'd be like, oh, Sam, online working's the way to go. And I was like, I've been doing this for about 7 years.
Come over here. I'm going to show you what to do.
I'm like, can we get the pandemic? Can we make it ongoing a little bit? Can we stretch it out? I'm loving this. But no, so again, all the app stuff, the ebooks, the guides, YouTube videos, they're all just as is. So I was very lucky, and really grateful that I went all in online many years ago.
So break it down for people. You touched on it there. Break it down for people. What do you do?
That is such a good question. And sometimes I struggle to answer that myself. So I'm like, so I own a pancake company, which is funny. I sound like Willy Wonka of pancakes there. So pancake company called fuelcase.com. I have a training app that customizes people training nutrition. That's called gameplantraining.com. That was previously called Lipset Fitness app, but I just rebranded because I wanted to make something bigger than me. Like, I want people to download Game Plan that never heard about Rob Lipsett. Fitness YouTuber, author, and just everything that comes with that as well. I've wrote a lot of guides and training plans and everything, and all that comes with it. And then brand ambassador. So yeah, there's a good few revenues there.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the very start.
Yeah.
Because I remember the protein pancakes video.
Yes.
Your first viral hit.
Yep.
Bring me back. How did this all start, Rob?
So I'm there, living in. I couldn't even call my family on it because it was rented out to loads of people. So it was like a hostel, student accommodation thing. So there'd be loads of different people in the house, and I'm there trying to make videos without someone walking into the kitchen. But I managed to get it some good time, anyways. And I said, I'm going to make it how to make protein pancake videos just for my clients, for people to watch, anyone who looked it up. And it was the first video to ever get, I think, a couple of million views. It could be on now, over 1 million anyways. And so when I was making this pancake company, I was like, it's sentimental to me. I was like, I kind of love this because it's like, these protein pancakes, they've gotten me through a lot of boring diets. So it's great. That's where like the original inspiration came from. So it's like when you do want to build a product or a service, you just answer a question that gets asked you every day. They're, hey Rob, how do you make good protein pancakes? So I got a nice little mix here for you now, fuelcakes.com. So that's it. And even when I started online coaching, I just say to people, I was getting asked so much for training and nutrition plans. So I go, well, there's a job here for me.
Yeah.
Because I obviously used to work, in an office. I worked in Spar when I was growing during college before I dropped out, and I had 100 different jobs. But this is like something that I've always loved to do, and I still love doing it. So if someone's trying to come up with a business idea, just think, what is a solution that you can come up with to a problem you see every day?
I think that's brilliant advice, and you kind of preempted some of my questions later. It's often the hardest question. People are like, I really want to work myself, but I just don't know what to do.
Yeah. It's the hardest question,
Yeah, it is.
And it's like, it's one of the hardest things you'll ever do is, starting your own business, going out on your own, doing freelance and everything. So it's such a tough one to answer.
How did you know it was time to go out on your own?
Yep. So I call it the magic number theory. Okay.
Oh, good.
So
okay.
Yeah. No.
Let's break this down.
Okay. So when you're working full time, no one ever has their dream job from the get go. Okay. So when you're working your full time job, your day job, whatever it is, you have your salary per month. Okay. And I recommend people starting their side hustle on the side. So I was working 9 to 6. So between 6 and 7, I'd commute home. I'd drive home. I'd have a dinner with my family. 7 to 8, I'd hit the gym, and then I get home at about maybe 9:30, and then from 9:30 to about 2 a.m. I was starting working my fitness business. Okay, so I was selling merch, I was online coaching, I was writing ebooks, all that jazz, and then 2 a.m. to 7 a.m. I'd sleep, and then I'd get up and go to work. And as soon as the side gig is making more than the main gig, then it's safe to go. So once you hit that magic number, okay, so I think it wasn't minimum wage in Ireland a few years ago. It was like 1,800 quid a month. So when I made 2 months in a row, or 3 months even, I made more than 1,800 quid from fitness. I was like, that's the magic number, baby. It's time to go. It's safe.
Was that always something you wanted to do?
Yeah. So ever since school, when I was playing rugby, I would always prefer the training over the actual skills. Probably because I was useless, but I would love the strength conditioning and all that. And so I was always just addicted to fitness, and I was really good at that as well. And we all like what we're good at, and I believe we should double down our strengths instead of always trying to be something we're not and trying to work on our weaknesses so much. By all means, do work on your weaknesses, but I think if we play to our strengths, that's how we really achieve greatness. And so I was always mad into fitness, and it was always something I wanted to do. And so I said, no matter what, I'm going to make it happen, whatever, maybe online, in person, selling books, plans, whatever, I'm going to make it happen.
And then what was the route? Because you said, okay, once the number was there, did you have, how are you planning this? How are you going, okay, this is my next step, this is my next step? Because I know you're big into planning. I want to get into that later on in terms of how you plan your week, day, month. But back then, how are you viewing this? Because the early days can be a bit confusing.
Absolutely. So, like a lot of Irish businesses or Irish people, we get our ideas from America.
Even still.
Yeah, even still, right? And so I would watch so many American fitness YouTubers who are putting out tons of online fitness content. Like, you remember them even back in the day, like you'd have like the Hodge twins, Matt Ogus,
Yes.
Mike Chang, Six Pack Shortcuts, like all these guys. I would just see them making a killing from just putting out fitness advice, and then they make a business around that. And I said, there's not a single Irish fitness YouTuber. And I to this day, I was the first person to ever be putting out online fitness content at scale in Ireland. And I can say that confidently, like I can say that publicly because it's true.
What year was this?
Oh, so my first ever YouTube video was September the 1st, 2014.
Wow.
So it's like coming up to 7 years ago. I will never forget that date. I want to get that date tattooed onto me. But
So I was trying to think yesterday. I was like, I think, I thought it was coming up on 7, 8, 9, 10 years.
Yeah.
That's a short time.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, but a very long time in the online world.
Exactly. And the interesting thing is, until maybe 2017, if even, like things blew up around then. But like there was no overnight success. Like there's 34 years initially with, just getting a handful of views and, nothing massive. And I think even the pancake video, it only went viral like a year or two after uploading it. And that's such an interesting thing about YouTube. So that's why it's my favorite platform, is because let's say you post a really good Instagram post, like it's really helpful, informative, and it gets a ton of engagement. After a few weeks, that's it. It's gone the water. But if you upload to YouTube, I think about it as every video is putting money in the bank. It's investing it. It can blow up, go randomly viral 3 years later. Like YouTube will put in the recommended, which I find so interesting.
It's fascinating.
So how all the algorithms work. But that's why I love YouTube so much. Like you can be uploading, and you're not seeing much, and then overnight you'll wake up and a video will have gone viral. So YouTube's a different animal, and YouTube's the only one you actually get paid on views. Obviously it's not much until you have loads online. They're all banking up views. But it definitely does add up,
How did you sustain the momentum? Because we talked about it a little bit off camera in terms of video. It's quite difficult to do. How did you sustain that belief and the momentum in those 1, 2, 3 years where it's like, a couple hundred views, a couple of thousand views? What was that kept you going?
Yep. So firstly, starting a YouTube channel and keeping it going, running it, is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And I've worked, manual labor jobs. I've worked jobs I hated. I've built apps, sold clothing. I've done so many different things. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. I have so much respect. Like there's some days where you just do not want to put your face on camera and be like, hey, what's up, everyone? You got to turn up every day. And it's like, let's say you're working in just an office or whatever. Just go in, put your head down and kind of chill for the day. YouTube, being on camera, it is extremely difficult. It's like even being a TV presenter, I'd imagine would be very hard. But the thing is, with a YouTube channel, you produce it, you direct it, you write it, you're the cameraman, it's all on you. So it's very, very difficult. And the only way you're going to keep that momentum up is if you're really loving what you're doing. So a lot of people, they'll jump on the fitness trend. Maybe they'll try to do like a makeup trend. I go, unless you really love what you're talking about, then you're not going to be able to sustain it. You're going to get pretty sick of it. So I genuinely love fitness and training and helping people improve their physiques and their lives in some way. So I could talk about it all day. Like I think if we started chatting about, dairy on the way to get our coffee, I was like, well, here's the breakdown with dairy, Yeah. So I just love it. I could talk about it forever. So that's what allows me to keep going.
Do you ever find it difficult putting yourself out there all the time? Are there ever times you're like,
Yeah, absolutely. There's many days, especially if you're hungover. that's one of my main motivation to stay in. I literally, if you're hungover, I'm just like, I cannot speak to a camera. So I got to go to sleep last night. I'm nice and fresh today. And my girlfriend's like, oh, do you want to have Palo Alto dinner? I was like, nope, podcast recording tomorrow, can't be done.
I love it.
Yeah, exactly. No,
professional.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, so there's so many days where you just don't want to go on camera. And men can't wear makeup as well. Well, you can now, I guess, 2021.
But back in 2014, being a YouTuber, that wasn't a thing, really. It was in the States. You know, you talked about the people there that made it, that pioneered it. You know, to keep that going over this length of time, you're probably one of the only people in Ireland still going.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll tell you something, you can probably relate to this, any Irish person could. When I first started, everyone, who the hell does your man think he is doing bicep curls on the internet? What? Fucking Billy biceps over here. Who do you think? The abuse you'd get.
Yeah.
But like, it was from no one you knew or care about. And I've always, we all need this attitude a little bit more in the social media era. Why would you care about what an anonymous profile cares online? You don't know these people. You don't value their opinion, whatever. And if your friends start saying stuff, that's not good, or your family. But my friends and family were always so supportive. Like, I remember when I started my YouTube channel, they all shared it. And they're like, oh, check out my mate. Like, he just started like a fitness channel. So I was very lucky for that, because I do know some people and their friends, like, they, you know, bitch about them, and they say, who does he think he is starting out in social media?
Yeah.
Or who does he think she is? And so I was very lucky for that. But yeah, at the beginning, you know, Irish people were like, who the hell does this lad think he is? But I just didn't care.
I'd written down the notes before this. I'd love/hate, just like the TV series. I was like, how do you deal with the hate?
Yeah.
You kind of answered that there, as in it bounces off you. Does it ever kind of dent you?
Do you know what? So I think it's because I've slowly grown up online.
Yeah.
Like, since 2014, I've had a gentle exposure to it, like pushing the boat out. Whereas some people, for example, this is a perfect example actually, they'd go on Love Island or a reality TV show, they'd go in, they'd have, you know, an audience of 100 people, they'd, you know, just work whatever job they did before, they'd come out to millions of followers, and it would be just 0 to 100. It would just, and they crack up, they go crazy, as we've seen. And that's really harsh and difficult to do, to deal with all this newfound attention. But I've been slowly exposed to it, so it's slowly kind of built up a shell. And again, I just employ a bit of empathy. I go, if someone's taking time out of their day to watch your stuff, make a little fake profile, form an opinion on it, I'm like, you are taking 20 minutes out of your day. What's your day looking like? Would I swap places with you? No. So I just feel bad for people hating online. And Joe's a funny one, right? It's like, imagine you're dating a guy or a girl and you saw them in the comment section giving abuse to some celebrity you follow. You'd be like, are you insane? You'd be like, what are you doing? So, you know, the people that hate other people online, weird bunch.
Okay, that's a really interesting insight you've given there about you've slowly grown up with it. So you've slowly been exposed to it, as opposed to the people you talked about there. It's just bang.
Exactly.
Now you're famous.
Yeah, that's a very tough one to deal with. You know, to actually even think about that. You know, it's very sudden. And also, now with that said, 99% of the interactions I have online are insanely positive, but it's just people, when they get one bad comment, it tends to get to them a lot more than nice thing. Because it's like, right, let's say you're walking down the street, okay? Someone's like, hey, you know, looking good. You're like, oh, thanks. You keep walking. They're like, hey, well, how's it going? Imagine someone went up to you and they're like, stay to you, screw you. You'd be like, sorry, what? It'd stop you in your tracks. So we tend to get a little bit more shocked when people say something a bit mean towards us.
And how do you deal with the flip side of it then? How did you deal with becoming known?
Yeah, so again, it's when I walk around town. I was, you know, in town over the weekend, people coming up and say, hey, you know, you helped me get in shape, you know, you taught me about this. It's unbelievably positive, and I think it's like the best feeling in the world. Like when someone comes up and say, I love what you do for work, and especially because majority of my audience is in Ireland, it's very positive. And like, even when I do an event, so again, pre-COVID era, another thing I do is I own an events agency where I bring CEOs and, you know, YouTubers and content creators together to talk about their journey. And the biggest event we've ever had was in the RDS, and it's just overwhelming positive, and it's a beautiful thing. And honestly, I think the best feeling I have in my entire life is when someone comes up and said, you've made a positive impact on my life. I think it's just the nicest thing. It feels better than being on holiday. It feels better than anything. It's the nicest thing.
Is it a bit surreal?
It is absolutely surreal. I still don't believe it. And it's crazy how nice people are. And it's crazy how much people can do with a little bit of encouragement. You know, we all just can go so far with just a little bit of encouragement.
Yeah, and a bit of empathy. I think you touched on it
exactly. There. Yeah.
So when did you So you started your first business, which was the training business. What came next?
So the first entrepreneurial thing I ever did was sell an ebook online for, I think it was 20 quid. So that was it. Then I started doing online coaching, one-on-one via emails. Okay. And then YouTube and YouTube sponsors started coming in. So a brand would contact you. They'd say, hey, you know, your videos are getting good views. We'll pay you 1,000 quid to do like a review mid-video on this product. And I was like, what? I was like, wait. I was like, you're going to send me the product and pay me?
Was that weird at the start? Were you kind of going, I don't know how much to charge here? I don't know.
Exactly. Who did I ask? I think I asked like Suzanne Jackson.
Okay.
Something I was like, how much would you charge and all this? I had no clue how to do it. Again, she's another powerhouse, you know, so Sumi, Irish legend at this stage. But yeah, I didn't know how much to charge, but you just kind of learn as you go along. And there's such a big scale with brand deals. It's like, if you like, if for example, if a product is really expensive, like, you know, let's say like Mercedes are like, hey, do you want to drive around a Mercedes GT for the day and do a YouTube video? And it's like, I'll do that for free, you know, because it's good content for me. Yeah. Whereas then other things, it's like, you know, this wouldn't be too natural to incorporate into a vlog. So, you know, you still like the product, but it's just a big scale to it.
Bit more work to it as well.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's still a lot of scale with brand deals and how much to charge.
What was that feeling like when you got that first email going, we're going to pay you X for this? Was it like,
it's like, I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, I'm actually getting paid to do something I love to do, which is, you know, make videos on fitness, and it's nuts. And I'm still to this stage so grateful for it. I can't believe it. It's mad.
And then, so fitness plans, the PDFs, and then you start getting sponsored videos.
Yeah, sponsored videos, like ambassadorships is the word.
How does that work?
So my two main ones right now are Ghost Lifestyle Supplements, Sports Nutrition, and Alphalete Clothing. Again, they're two American companies, and they're like 3-year contracts.
Okay.
And so, you know, again, you can do 1 year or 2 years, 3 years. Yeah, I've done like 6-month contracts before, but these, I've been with them for 3 years previously, and it just got renewed there at the start of the year.
Incredible.
And
great.
So it's like a proper salary, like, you know, you show your contract to the bank if you're applying for a mortgage or something, you know.
Okay,
it's like,
yeah.
It's like your job, it's a job description. And so you come to an agreement where you set out a number, usually it's like you set out a number of posts or a number of amount of content that you do per month, and, you know, they'll pay you X amount. And then there's also a commission deal on top of that. So wherever you use your code, you'll get like 20% off every sale on top of it.
Nice.
So it's very lucrative. And, you know, like, it was, the sponsorship roles are going 10K a month salary, you know, like for each one in some people. And like, there's even like, you know, Gymshark, like they'd have proper celebrities on it who are getting like 30K a month salaries. It's very lucrative, you know, the sponsorships in social media.
And you've been with athletes since nearly the start, haven't you?
Yeah, like 2015 or 16. So like about like 3 years after I started. And with Ghost, I was with My Protein before. Ended really amicably, just got a better deal with Ghost, and I really like the owners of Ghost, the people who work with them, and the products are amazing. So it's cool, you know. Some people, it's quite funny, they get it like rows with their sponsor and they have like disagreements. Like
those videos are the worst.
Oh, they're the worst. Never do. Always just keep it classy and be amicable. And they're the worst. Like, this company, this. Yeah. Just always keep it classy. But me and My Protein ended really well. Just got a good deal with Ghost, and they're like, nice one. Yeah, they're like, if you ever want to come back working with us, let us know. But no, I love those. So they're my two main brands that I work with, and I really like them. And then you'd have a few one-off brand deals like Fashion Nova is one I did recently, or Top and Wear Now. Legend London. How convenient. Yeah. Discount code ROB Rob. And that you just work with for maybe like a month.
Yeah.
But my two main ones are Ghost and Athlete.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So that was the next step then for you in terms of the sponsorships. That must have been a big level up again.
Yeah, again, and it's lovely security to have like a 3-year job role pretty much. And like, so my mum was trying to us.
Now I get what he
now
does.
She gets it. Now she's like, she actually sees a contract, a bit of writing. She still doesn't understand fully, but it's definitely like that nice bit of security. And the funny thing is, right, with what I do, the social media world, people say like, oh, there's no security there. It's no long term. I'm like, I've been fired from many jobs. I have never been fired from this, what I'm doing now. Because like, you make how hard you work.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you're pretty much self-employed. You're an entrepreneur. So I'm like, people say entrepreneurial is risky. I say working for a company that doesn't care about you is very risky.
That is literally what I say all the time.
Who will lay you off in the morning.
Yep. Well, look at the last 2 years. You know, there's awful things going on. Like, people have been with companies 10, 20, 30 years. Oh, numbers. Yeah. Numbers, that we need to kind of squeeze numbers. And like, people don't, I think it's the entrepreneurial game is kind of hidden. You know, people think, oh, it's just so hard and so risky. And it is. But like you say, if you have the motivation and the commitment just to keep going, how do you keep going, Rob? How do you get that motivation every single day?
So again, motivation will dip and go and come, and it's the same with the gym as well. And I actually think, of course, I use the gym as an example, but the gym is actually a great example for analogies in life, a lot. And so you got to rely and work on your self-discipline more than your motivation, because no one's getting you out of bed in the morning. And that's definitely the toughest part, So you got to just say, if I don't get up and I don't do my to-do list, if I don't knock that off, I'm going to be in trouble. Yeah. And so that's it. So instead of relying on motivation, I rely more on self-discipline. Now, when you get a bit of motivation, ride that wave. Do it. Use that to your advantage. But again, it's not something that you can rely on. And again, another thing I put into practice as well is perspective and gratitude. Okay? Because I think I could be still working a job I hated. I could have never quit my office job. And then then the gratitude comes into it. I say, if the Rob 6-7 years ago saw you right now, he'd be so happy. Little Rob Jr. starting out in the gym, he'd be absolutely delighted. He'd be like, you getting free clothes? He's like, you're getting free protein? Wait, what? You get paid? You get paid to drink protein? He'd be so happy.
I like that, actually. That perspective.
Yeah, perspective
like that.
And gratitude. If you're ever just feeling a little bit down and demotivated, like we're saying, just say the 2 words, Rob, perspective, gratitude.
Because it's so easy to look forward. Forward. Future Gary, future Rob. What's future Gary going to be doing? What's future Rob going to be doing? Yeah. Actually, it's very rare for someone to go, well, what would you 5 years ago think?
Yes, exactly.
You were working this or you were doing that. What was your journey then beyond sponsorships and beyond, because you've expanded hugely. Yeah. Like you've touched into so many different industries and, food and gym and planning and online. How did you explore that world? Yeah. How did you learn your next venture?
Yeah. So then we're at the part where I can, have a little bit more time to myself. I can, do my own schedule. I've got a little bit of cash to play with. And so I said, right, okay, having people pay you for, brand deal sponsorships and all that is great, but now I need to do my own stuff. Now I need to become my own true CEO. Yeah, I kind of hate that word, CEO. Everyone's CEO in their bio now. But, so I need to do my own stuff. So then I started the creator agency, which again is the events that we fly people in. I've done 2 events in Ireland, 1 in London, a few little mini events around the place as well. One in Ibiza,
nice.
Actually.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. The
business expense.
The business capital of the world for some industries. And then so I did that, and then the Lipset fitness app, which turned into Game Plan, and then Fuel Cakes, which is the most recent one. That's about 6 months old now.
Talk to me about that.
Because
you teased that out for a long time.
Yes, yeah. Craig,
bring me on the journey, because I love when people can take away kind of tangible lessons from this. Like, people listen and then they might mail you in a year's time and go, I actually started a business after listening to Rob because he broke down. How do you actually start? What's your process?
Yeah, so quick one on that. I'm glad you mentioned it. There's a few lads. So there's a good community in Marbella of Irish entrepreneurs who work remotely. And there's a few lads. They started a clothing company called Carpe Omnia, okay? And so they make like jeans and t-shirts and all this. They just get them on the podcast. They're a few brothers, and they're from Dublin, and they're killing it, right? And they were like, oh, Rob, like we're having a few drinks. They're like, we actually started this after we went to your creator agency event in the RDS.
No way.
And I'm like, I think you guys are making more than me now.
The commission.
Yeah. I'm like, so how about them royalties, lads? But so they're killing it. And that is incredibly fulfilling for me here. That's a legacy, you know, like if people like, who knows? So there's actually a few people who said I started a company after going to that event. And I'm like, imagine this company becomes even bigger, like one of the biggest companies in Ireland, and they came to my event. That's legacy stuff. So I'm just so happy to hear that. But yeah, so that was absolutely amazing. The impact you can have on other people just from little knock-on effects. But with Fuel Cakes, so two of my huge inspirations to me are, again, two American YouTubers that are good friends of mine, Max Tuning and Christian Guzman, right? They're two OGs in the fitness scene. They're brilliant. And so Christian, in all his videos, he would drink energy drinks, like a White Monster Zero or something, okay? So he goes, right, how do I cut out the middleman? I'm going to make my own. I'm going to make, 0-calorie energy drinks, call them 3D. Done that. Now he's in all petrol stations in America, Walmart, Target, killing it. Okay?
He seems to be an absolute machine.
He is the hardest working person I've ever met in my life, I will say. He owns, again, Alfleet, one of the brands that I'm sponsored by. Like, he is just, got 4 mega companies, just huge. Doesn't sleep. I've spent weeks with him. It makes me feel like a lazy MF, right? Crazy hard worker, right? The real deal. And then another guy, Max Tuning, started a sour candy company called Sour Strips.
I've been following him. He is hilarious.
He's hilarious, and he's just the exact same in person. He's a wild guy. He's a trip. But so again, he was always eating Sour Patch Kids on his story and on his YouTube channel. So he goes, I'm going to start Sour Strips, right? Because his audience already connects with that.
And that was my first half of the chat with Rob. To hear the second half, pop over to my Spotify and you can listen to the whole second half where things really get juicy. I will see you back here next week for a new episode, and I also put out 1 video a week on my own business. Click here to subscribe to the channel and click here to watch the most recent video. I'll see you back here next week.